Hello, plant tribe. Welcome back to Plant Flag. Hello, plant tribe, and welcome back. Seriously? I've said this like 1,300 times. Take 3. Hello, plant tribe, and welcome back to Plants, Pots, and Whatnots. And I am Nikki. If you are new here, if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. It is so amazing to see you. So I'm really excited to do this video today for you. I was actually tagged by Pam from Pammy's Planty Things, who was tagged by Jeff from Tropical Plant Party. Jeff has actually started this really cool new thing called Terrarium Tuesdays on his channel. I will link both of their channels down below, and you should definitely go check them out if you haven't already. And so Jeff every Tuesday now is doing like some sort of terrarium-esque type video. And so when I was tagged by Pam, I started watching like every terrarium video I could get my hands on. And I ran across this one channel. The guy's name is Tanner. And you guys may be familiar or may not be. But his channel is SerpaDesign. I will also tag that down below. And he is amazing. He makes some of the coolest terrariums and vivariums or whatever you call them, like aquascapes. He's done some crazy amazing things with terrarium type things, and I was like blown away and so inspired. So I was really excited that Pam tagged me in this, because just the ideas just came flooding, and I just need to like get it out. So I went and picked up this jar because, you know, I figured go big or go home. I start small. I may regret that later. We'll see. But anyway, so I picked up this jar that I'm about to break off garage sale. So it's kind of like Gigi. I don't know if you guys have it down in the US or where, like how far this app stretches. But anyways, and so it is secondhand. When I picked it up, it was full of Oreos. So anyway, I had to wash all the Oreo gunk out of it, and this is what I am going to be using. So anyway, I could continue to ramble, but I'll just wait and see if you can stick around. Okay, so if that sounds like something you want to watch, go ahead and stick around. So excited. You stayed. Thank you so much. Since you're here, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. It is a huge help. I am really trying to get a new camera so that we don't have this issue. Can you see this exposure thing? It's really frustrating me. So the more you guys are able to help me out and, you know, watch as much as you can and give me a like, throw some comments down there. Hopefully the sooner I can get this camera, because this is driving me mental. Anyway, enough about that. Thank you for staying around so much. I appreciate it. Okay, so like I said, I got this cookie jar. And I'm going to be making a closed terrarium, hence obviously the lid. So when you're making a closed terrarium, it's kind of like its own little, oh, the word is totally leaving me, like ecosystem, I guess. There's another word for it, but it's like, yeah. So anyway, basically what's going to happen is this thing is watering itself. You're kind of creating like a little mini rainforest. So the way that we're going to build that will actually have condensation rise, gather near the top of the jar, and come back down, and the cycle continues. So I love that idea. It's its own little kind of self-contained world, and I just find that so cool. So we're going ahead, and what I'll do first is I'll just kind of show you what I've got. I'm not sure what all I'm going to use. I haven't really mapped out what I want to do, so we're just gonna wing it together, and I'll just arrange things until I like how they look. I have a crap ton of plants, And but we'll focus on the plants second. First, we're gonna do all the hardscaping. So that's, you know, your substrate and you know, your driftwood and rocks and that kind of thing first, and then we can kind of build around that. So I have my jar, obviously. Sit that aside. I have my little piece of mesh. Oh God, that was dumb. Anyway, that's what I get for trying to be funny. So we have this little piece of mesh. So what this is for is creating, Tanner refers to it as a false bottom. Man, I really did a number on my lashes. So especially in a closed terrarium scenario, so you're going to place your rocks on the bottom, then your mesh, and then your substrate, so that it keeps your substrate out of your rocks. Otherwise, you're going to get like a lot of gunk down in there. It's going to turn kind of sludgy and gunky and moldy and whatever. And also, it gives a place for the water to evaporate and, you know, come up, and like I explained before. So Tanner explains it way better on his channel, but that's the general basics of the false bottom, or the bottom layer of the terrarium. So we've got that. I have all kinds of different rocks here. So we've got some smooth river rock. This is the stuff I think oh no, this isn't it. We have just some kind of, I don't know what it is, kind of looks like, it's like, I don't know, it looks like rock. I don't know what kind of rocks or what. And then this is the stuff I'll probably use on the bottom. So this is just, you know, rocks. So that's the rocks that we have. I also have some black polished river rock. Probably use that for maybe some accents or something, or like decor inside. So we have those. I have some living moss here. So I have this frog moss. I'm not sure what the actual moss is. I don't know. I don't think it's called frog moss. Oh, pillow moss. So I have been told that when you put this into, you know, a terrarium scenario and actually water it, it will actually like start to grow and be alive, I guess. So we'll see. I'm skeptical, but that's what they tell me. I also got, let's see what else we got here. I have my little thing of moss somewhere. Okay, we have some of this moss. This is the dried moss. I probably won't use that. I don't think. We have some pieces of like bark, like this. Some more rock in there. I have this stuff. It's really fine, like bark, and I thought it would be kind of cool if I wanted to make any like, you know, pathway type looking things. But it almost kind of reminds me of if you've ever been in a pine forest. It kind of looks like the leaf litter, you know, along the bottom of the forest floor, and I just thought that was a really cool look. So who knows, we'll see. I also have some sheet moss, preserved sheet moss. Again, don't know if I'll use it, but I kind of just went crazy and got everything I saw. Okay, moving over here. Oh boy. We have some different stuff. So, oh, I got this as well. Live moss for hermit crabs, but it is also moss that will supposedly live once it is hydrated. We have a bunch of driftwood here. So I've got these sticks. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use them. I might break them up and just use them for like decor along the bottom. I've got my little mister here. And I've got a whole bunch of pieces of driftwood of different sizes. Oh, that's probably really loud. Use the tin, Nikki. That's a great idea. Anyways, so I have some pieces of driftwood here. I'm not really sure how much I'll use or what's going to fit. So that is also I'm so sorry. It's like I'm not even trying, you know? Okay, and then I don't think I'll use this because I think I'm going to go with a more natural look. That I need. Let's get rid of this noisemaker. Here we go. Exposure. This was really cute, and I might use it for, like, you know, more of a, oh, you can't even see it from here. It's like a little bistro set. Super cool. Very cute. But I think I'm going to go with a more natural forest kind of look for this trim. So I'm going to set those aside. But don't worry, we'll use them in another project because I have a feeling it's kind of like combining two of my favorite things, plants and just expressing my creativity. And I love art, and this to me is like perfect. And I don't know what happened before that I didn't pick this up, but I have been obsessed with it recently. So I've been rambling on a lot long enough. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I figured this was probably a better angle, and that way you're able to actually see what I'm doing, I hope. So the first thing I want to do, I've got this piece of mesh, and I just want to round out the corners. So you want to make sure that your mesh is just slightly larger than the diameter of your container. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of cut around the edges. You can't really see me, but I'll show you after I'm done here. Wow, I cut that all kinds of screwed up. Okay, here is my poorly cut circle. Egg shape. Here's my mesh. So first of all, we have to that would break the jar. We are going to gently place the rocks for the false bottom into the jar. So I'm just gonna go ahead and speed this part up just so you don't have to watch me gently hand drop a couple hundred rocks into the bottom of the jar. Okay. Just so you know, Jordan's sitting here, so if it looks like I'm talking to myself, not that it's out of the scope of possibility, but Jordan is sitting here with me. There he is. Now I'm just going to smooth them out. That's just about perfect. I'm quite impressed. Okay. Now we're going to place our oddly shaped mesh. I'm not going to squish my eyelashes again. That was fun last time. Into the bottom. If it comes up the side a little bit, that's fine. Basically, you're just trying to separate the two layers. And it's not going to sit properly, but once you get your substrate on there and whatnot, it'll be good. All right, that looks all right. So now for the substrate. So that's what it looks like. So I have a mixture in here of the regular soil that I use, and I have some sphagnum moss in here. I have perlite. These pieces I probably should have broken up, but I didn't, so it is what it is. Some orchid bark, like the small pieces, and oh, charcoal. So you can do a dedicated charcoal layer if you want to, or you can just mix it right into your substrate. Either is fine. And basically that keeps down on the like crud and like impurities and stuff like that that will get in there, and it just kind of keeps your soil a little cleaner. and kind of purifies things. So we are going to go ahead and put down a layer of this now. You just want to set the first couple layers down in there a little more gently, just so that your layer of mesh doesn't get all wonky. If you get a little bit down the bottom, it's not the end of the world. Oh my gosh. I almost flung that across the room. I almost took you out, honey.
That wouldn't have been good.
Okay, I think that's about good enough for now. So this is kind of what we're working with. And I will add more as I need to. I think what I'm actually going to do is start building up the back right now. And here's one of the things you want to watch. Actually, this one doesn't have it. If you're using a jar or a container of any kind, more times than not, they have like a seal or a seam from where the manufacturer like connected the two pieces of glass. This one actually doesn't have one, so that's kind of cool, which, you know, normally that would dictate where your front and back would be, but this one doesn't have it, so I can just choose wherever I want to. So I'm just going to build up one side just to have a little bit, you know, of dimension and depth. And then again, I'll probably just add things as I deem necessary. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is usually your hardscape. So that's your driftwood in any large pieces, and that way you can just kind of plant around them. So I'm just going to start kind of throwing things in until I like how it looks. This piece is going to be obviously way too big. I'm just going to have to get like a bigger container and make a whole nother tray. You kind of want to position them in there as naturally as possible so they kind of look like they're supposed to be, you know, like it's an old, you know, fallen down piece of tree or something. Okay, so I think I've got these kind of where I want them. That's what I've got so far. It's probably really hard to see with that light in the back. Okay, so I think that it's time for some plants. So let me go grab the plants that I've got today. Okay, I probably got way more plants than I needed. However, I intend to make like a lot of different terrariums. So I'm just going to run you through some of the plants that I got today, or that I picked up for this. So I have these guys. These are little cryptanthus, and I like them because they have this gorgeous pink color, and it was kind of a bonus because they have this, what I think is, what's it called? Something wart, lungwort, moss, anyways, all that green. I can use that for the bottom of the terrarium to kind of give it a more natural woodsy vibe, which I thought that was really cool. So I got 2 of these, both complete with moss. So there's those. I got 2 little asparagus ferns, which I absolutely love. They kind of look, they have that layered effect, so they kind of look like a tree, and I think they would look really cool in here. Hopefully I can utilize those. I picked up this little China doll, which I thought was kind of bushy and cute, and it gave some different texture. Again, I don't know how many of these I'm going to use, but I got lots just in case. I picked up this little tricolor fern, which I thought was kind of nice. It adds a different texture plus a little pop of color as well. I picked up this blue star fern, which I thought would be nice for a little height, and then it's got that bluey tone, so it gives a little bit more contrast. Of course, I picked up a couple of these little red Fittonia because they're really, really cute in the red, and they really give a nice pop of color. I got this little button fern, lemon button fern. So even if I use little bits and pieces of these plants, because you can kind of break them apart, a lot of them are, the roots will separate and you can use them like that. So I got this little, I used half of him in a little practice terrarium, which is why there's only half of him in here, but it's little dwarf syngonium. Not sure of the actual variety. I got this as well, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's kind of like a fern of some kind that I thought would be kind of cool, like right down near the bottom and in and around, kind of growing around the pieces of driftwood. I got this guy as well for a little contrast and color. And I got a little pinky red polka dot plant. Oh, and I also had this already. This is a little green Fittonia, just little pieces of one. So I figured if I needed that as well, I could use that. So that's where we're at. And I think I'm just gonna get the camera down so that you can see the terrarium. And I'll probably just voice over this whole part, and then I can just kind of work and you can watch. And I'll throw some music to it maybe or something instead. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of wing it. Let's get at it. think I have all the plants in that I want to put in it. So now I am going to, I know you guys can't really see this all that well, and I will get you in for a really good close look after. It really does look better in real life than it's showing up on camera right now because of the glare and all that. But I'm going to go ahead and get some of the accents and some of my mosses in there. And yeah, and then I will come back and show you the finished piece. Oh, and this frog moss, or whatever they called it, I did soak first so that it kind of rehydrates itself. As you can see, it's dripping all over the place. And this is the, oh God, I can't even remember what it's called. Something wart, I think. But anyway, so that's the stuff that I got off the top of the bromeliads. So some of it I'm actually going to use, and some of it I am going to hopefully propagate, or I'm going to try to propagate, so that I can use it for container terrariums going forward. So that'll be a new little experiment. But I'm just going to take chunks of this and place it in where it looks good. It's really hard to do this and show you guys at the same time. I'm gonna have to figure out a better setup. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do the moss, and then I'll come back and show you. So this is what it currently looks like, and I'll be back. Okay, so I think I got everything in there that I wanted to get in there. You can see how that looks. I am going to go ahead and take my little handy dandy sprayer, spray everything down. I'll give the glass a wipe, and then I'll give you guys the final peek. All right then. There we go. That is the finished terrarium. Let's see if you can get in there. I'll get some better shots for you in a bit. There is quite a bit of reflection. That was so fun. We need to do more. Oh my goodness. So I think next Tuesday, I'm gonna do a mini one. Today's video plant tribe commenter comes from Michelle Bowman. I thought this was so super cute. Apparently we are twins because we both have braces and because we both have a whole crap ton of plants. That is so adorable. Thank you so much, Michelle, for letting me know that. I thought that was just so cute. So thank you to all of you for watching this video. This was my first shot at any decent sized terrarium. The ones I've made before are quite tiny, and I had so much fun doing this. If you haven't made a terrarium before and you're creative and you like plants, why don't you just mush both of those hobbies together and try this? I would absolutely love to see what you can come up with. So if you end up making your own, please go on Instagram, find me if you haven't already, and send me your pictures. I will feature them on my channel, on my Instagram. This is just so much fun, and I encourage you guys to try it. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching and liking and commenting and subscribing. I love you guys all to bitty bits. Have a great day, night, week, month, and year, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!